somewhere. So there's on 9-3, which is 5046 board recommendation, which I don't think is actually. Yeah, 9-1, sorry. The recommendation there, 5046 is outlined there, which just needs a quick correction. There seems to have been a typo in Tarkinga Street. Should have been it says Tarkinga Street. It should be Tarkinga Street. So there needs to be a quick correction. There's a typo there. It should have been a T instead of a K. So primarily that's where we are at the moment. There's a recommendation sat on the books, which has now come to council for further discussion and or resolution.
Okay, open up to the floor.
I don't know whether you'd be able to answer this, but the Crown, did they give a reason why they wouldn't do it in the treaty negotiations? Did they give a reason why they wouldn't allow the name changes?
Why?
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Through Mr. Chairman, from my understanding is that they legally couldn't, and so that's why they asked council or the board via letter, would you be prepared to do it? But the Crown would have to have done a specific act of Parliament to change it because it was a PA responsibility, so a local council responsibility.
Any further discussion on this?
Just one of the questions I've got some I'd like to ask really is I mean, that was when this has fallen under our ability to do something about it, and nothing has happened. Just for councillors, could we have a bit of clarification as to why it has taken to this point to get it to this stage?
I think perhaps Councillor Kepler is a better person to answer that, but I would say that my understanding is it's missed the boat as we've gone through the years, and following recent conversations with Hapu, this has come up as a primary concern of theirs, and we, as officers, taken that forward. I don't know if you want to expand any more on that, Councillor.
Can I just say that the deed of settlement's 14th anniversary will be tomorrow. It's taken 14 years to get here. Another 4 months perhaps to finalise this won't be a loss in terms of time. The board and Turangi-Tongariro since 1998 have had a number of discussions. There was one change made to, for example, Todd Place from Tamakui Grove, and I think that was about 2005. So that was the only street name since I've been in here in the last 12 years that has been changed. Now, Turangi-Tongariro brought these names back to us, for which the board has made a recommendation, and for now, lots of other things have come out of the woodwork, and some of the issues probably need to be readdressed.
Councillor Minter?
With the board, obviously it's time to address this issue, but my thing here, John, is we do have costings, but it may cost councils and the wider community, but it's those individual landowners affected directly by their cost of business already. I have nothing here to go on to know that the changes will help affect them. And I think that's quite an important part of it. I know in concept where this is going, but
yeah, in response to that, the process going forward is we have to literally visit each business, affected business, and sit down and work out what the potential cost is to them and how and if council would support that cost and bring it back to the board. So there's a whole process to go through in terms of the cost of this. And that's been clear throughout, and that's why it's a staged process, because there are significant costs which are unbudgeted for, which we would need to go through an annual plan, but we need to quantify exactly how much those are.
so
We've got some guide estimates in there based on previous road name changes, but they're just guide estimates at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just a little disappointed we don't have information in front of us already at this stage.
Yeah, it's been a bit cold for us, because until we can't go out and say this is happening if actually council hasn't resolved on it.
It's very hard to have those negotiations without putting words in your mouth that you're going to change those names.
Yeah.
Because we don't know that you are until we make that decision.
Councillor Kepper?
Just a point, there aren't many businesses overall affected with these street name changes. But for example, extending Ohanga Road up to the police station from the high school. All right, there is the town centre, but those have a town centre address, not a Ohanga Road address. The only businesses that I think are affected along there would be the Mustard Seed, the BP, the video shop, the fry, the dairy, and the computer shop. No, Backpack is on Tauranga Road.
Okay, Councillor Johnson with that?
Just for clarity, if we go back to when the land was used to build a township, to build the power, were the names that are suggested the preferred options way back then? And in the ultimate world, if they'd been names, we wouldn't be sitting here today.
I'm not sure I'm actually someone who could answer that question.
Because if the original agreement was for these certain names, this is an honouring of something that's...
The names that are presented today have come recently from the Marae Committee, and they've been presented to us as the agreed names. Now, I can't comment on previous discussions on today.
Councillor Craig?
I was going to add the same thing. We've got some names here, Becker and Gibson and Todd. Is it a sensitive issue that these were named after certain people that were notorious at the time, and now is it going to affect their...
Well, the board was very sensitive to the role that engineers, of which these streets are named after, played within Turangi, and that was very much on the forefront of their mind as they were making this recommendation. As a result, we've suggested that maybe when we do the redevelopment, that we can have a form of recognition of the whole history of Turangi, both recent and past.
With these names?
However we present that, we're not sure at the moment, but certainly that was very much at the forefront of the board's mind when they were making this decision.
I won't say paperclip on paper.
Just to answer Chris's, the way I read it, it wasn't so much the name presented at the time, but it was the right to name, I think is what was granted. I think it wasn't actually particularly name-based, it was the right to name the streets. I think that's the big issue, obviously, and so, personally I wasn't back in these discussions, but I would certainly like to be involved again to make sure the discussions, I respect the community board, but just to make the decision to make sure that I've heard it correctly, because there's obviously a bit of confusion in the room, so.
Okay, well, for me personally,
there's 4 points I wanted to make. Firstly, someone's just raised referring to backpackers. That is my business, so I'm affected by this. So it's like to clear a conflict. If there is any potential compensation coming to business, I won't be claiming that, so that should take me out of that. Just for those people who haven't been hearing the conversation, there's been a lot of discussion between councillors informally about this over the past few days and this morning and so forth. And some of these issues have been brought up already. Obviously, we're having difficulty quantifying how much potential cost businesses may be, and some members are wanting more information on that. The other issue is that some members of the community who have a historical relationship with some of these street names, other than Turangi-Tongariro, have voiced some concerns and wish to be consulted, and haven't been up to this point. The last thing I want to make a point about is that what I'm hearing from the discussions I've had with my colleagues this morning is there's a real commitment from this council to moving forward and making decisions on these matters and actually dealing with them, whatever those decisions are. So, although there may be some move today towards some further consultation, I wouldn't want anybody to, if that is to be the outcome, to think that is an excuse for parking this and not dealing with the matter going forward. So those are just the points I wanted to make.
okay, well, just to wind this up,
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I know you're here. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these names aren't spelt correctly, and I don't have a problem with that, with 90% of them, or those ones. I'd like a little bit more information on the 4, like we talked about in here, the Decker, the Gibson, and the Todd. But Claren, but also the costing, if we could have another workshop to actually find out what the exact costing is if we say, right, we go with those to get redone, and then find out more consultation of the costings if there is to any business, and where all us four councils involved. I mean, how does that feel? Like, come up with a different resolution to do that? It's just that I feel as though I haven't got enough information here just to actually make a clear vote.
Can I ask of this council then, if for example we came up with a figure higher than 14,000 or 21,000 as a costing to do these changes, would that simply be the reason not to do the change?